Yo, what's up, Cappy Crew? It's me, the Capybara, and in my chronicling of social media platforms literally taking a flamethrower to their own house, I figured that I should discuss the current downfall of Reddit and what is happening over there. It is an absolute madhouse, and it's really important to talk about, I think, because this is a pretty big moment in the tech social media type sphere that I think we'll feel ripples of for a long, long time if something doesn't happen. Now, first off, if you're a normie, you probably don't even know what Reddit is. So what is Reddit? Well, it's the front page of the internet is what its little tagline is. And basically, it's just like a directory of forums, and your main page ranks these by timeliness and upvotes to give you the most relevant stuff. And dang, does it work. So for instance, when you start going into these subreddits, like there's some for chess, there's some for just like news, politics, ask Reddit, whatever you're interested in, they have a subreddit for it. And it's a really, really fast way to retrieve new information about the things that you're most passionate about. Now, it has a really reliable search engine too. So if there's something really niche, because there is a community for just about everything, if there's something really super niche that you want to find out, Reddit is a really great place to go. Now, all of these um, subreddits, or what they're called, all these subreddits, but they're basically just like forum categories, are self-moderated by community members that are passionate about that specific thing. So like, there's yeah, and there's different moderators for each subreddit too. So like the chess moderator isn't going to be a moderator on the news moderation or things like that. Although there is a lot of crossover between mods. Um, they're generally not like moderators over the whole platform. They're moderators over specific things that are bite-sized, and it gives them a lot of like not power, but they are powerful in that they can kind of shut down things that they don't want people to know about, because Reddit is such a great place for news. But they're not like all powerful like Elon Musk at Twitter, you know what I mean? So these are all self-moderated people from community members. And that means that Reddit as a company can operate with a relatively small team. Now let's get in, now that you know what Reddit is, let's kind of get into what the deal is over there right now. So in February, they announced that they were going to go public, likely in the second half of this year. And basically, what that means is that they are going to go from a private company into a publicly owned company. So you can now buy stock in Reddit. And now it's a little dicey if they want to do this or not, because there's a lot of other tech companies that have gone public and their stock has absolutely tanked. This is Poshmark's max stock. Look at that. This is when they entered the market. This is where they ended. This is Bumble. So this is when they entered the market. This is where they are at now. And then also Robinhood. Let's look at that. So where they entered the market, where they're at now. So there's a lot of precedent of these tech companies entering the market and then absolutely tanking their own stock. It's always a risk to go public. And the reason why, so why would you even go public then? Well, it's because it could be a way to increase the capital to expand the company a little bit better, or it could be a way for the owners, the private owners, to go ahead and cash out and try and get rid of all of their stock, or at least most of their stock, to make a butt ton of money all at once. And and then you just live on a private island in Fiji for the rest of your life. Like that is the end goal of a lot of these people who start these companies and then make them go public. Now, a good way to prevent like this downward trend from happening is to try and get like, I mean, this is where you want to sell. If you're somebody who has a lot of stock in these companies. And so you want to make sure that your company is as valuable as possible when you enter the market. And so Reddit is trying to do that. And they realize that there is a lot of money left on the table because of their lax community focused policies. Their API, basically like their website's back end, has been completely free to access and use for since Reddit has been around. And that means that Reddit extensions, like there's a Reddit enhancement suite that you can get on like Google Chrome, things like that. There's third-party apps like Apollo, there's mod tools. There's a lot of things that have been really easy to make and have helped contribute to Reddit's popularity as a website, because you can just make whatever you want for Reddit and put it out there for the world, and Reddit's not going to do anything about it. Well, that was all about to change. I mean, it is about to change. Reddit's APA pricing results in shocking $20 million a year bill for Apollo. So Apollo is an app basically that uses Reddit's API to make an ad-free, smoother Reddit experience for the mobile phone. Not a lot of people use the Reddit app on their phone. They use Apollo instead. And I mean, $20 million, if you start charging every single person who's using your API $20 million, that is a butt freaking ton of money. And so because of that, Apollo for Reddit is going to have to shut down at June 30th. Once these changes take in effect, once they get their $20 million bill, they're going to go ahead and stop making it. And this has a lot of people on Reddit, specifically the power users and the mods, absolutely PO'd. They are salty as frick. And because of that, a week or two ago, they decided to have a Reddit blackout. I do not want to join AP News right now. Please stop. Okay, so thousands of subreddits are protesting the third-party app changes. Basically, they decided to take a lot of their subreddits private, these moderators, so that nobody could look at them for 2 whole days. Or instead they just said, hey, this is why we're doing it. And there was a lot of public support for that, because these third-party tools, they matter a lot to a lot of different people. There's even things like that make it easier for people with disabilities to use Reddit. There's a lot of different reasons why people want the API to Reddit. Now, they protested for 48 hours. Some of them went even a little bit longer. However, the CEO said, heck it, we're not negotiating on our third-party app changes. There's this quote in here that is, protest is dissent is important. The problem with this one is it's not going to change anything because we made a business decision that we're not negotiating on. They also said something along the lines of, it would just like, yeah, it's just gonna blow over. You know what I mean? And they're not gonna stay offline indefinitely, even if that means finding new moderators. So they're threatening the mods. Oh yeah, you want to take these subreddits and protest? Then we're just gonna get rid of you. So the mods didn't like that, so they decided to take it up a notch. They took it up a notch. So popular subreddits welcomed this sort of content, adult content, to protest Reddit's API changes, because you can't put ads on not safe for work subreddits. So they just decided to start making all these popular subreddits like pics or GIFs or like mildly interesting. A lot of these just normal basic subreddits started having a lot of adult content on them so that they could get rid of them. Or they also had sexy pictures of John Oliver. And because of that, Reddit then decided, oh my gosh, come on. Reddit removed mods as subreddits continue protesting unpopular API changes. So they took away the mods. They said, alrighty, you're not allowed to do that anymore. And that is basically where we're at right now, is that Reddit is introducing these new mods. And I feel like the reason that Reddit did this was to, you know, as we said, make the value of the company higher. But they forgot one very important thing. The users are the product, and they're moderating with free labor. Like, if you make the users salty, then they will ultimately devalue the product, like making everything not safe for work. And Reddit isn't too big to fail. Like, these moderators will burn it all down, and the site will become so unhinged without these moderators, and the user base will decline. I feel like Reddit just literally shot themselves in the foot, or by stabbing their community in the back for some greed. Now, I feel like there's a lot of different ways that Reddit could have made it more valuable instead of trying to stab its community in the back by taking these $20 million bills, or just trying to shut down these third-party apps. And I get trying to shut down like Apollo, for instance, because it's taking ad revenue away from you. There's things like that that I completely understand, but I almost think that they could have gone like cease and desist mode instead of burn everything down for $20 million mode. And there's other ways they could have made their app better. If you don't want Apollo people using Apollo, just make your own app better too. Like Reddit has a really poor video player. There's like a bad user experience. There's tons of ads, you know. But instead of trying to make things better so that Reddit is more valuable, they decided instead to just burn it all down. And I'm very interested to see how fast the stock drops once they go public. I'm interested to see how valuable it is once they hit in the first place. And I'm also interested to see what happens to these moderators. Are they going to get scabs to replace them? Because I am not even like a crazy power user of Reddit, you know. I will go on there a few times a day and just like scroll and check what's going on, but I'm not like a crazy moderator and blah blah blah, you know what I mean? But if you were to take a mod position, which is literally free labor, I can't believe that you would scab somebody to do it. Like basically these Reddit mods are on strike, and I would be shocked if somebody decided to become a moderator of these huge subreddits, without getting paid, which then ultimately is another expense for Reddit. And so you're still not saving money. I just don't understand what the deal was. I think there was a better way to go around it. I'm curious to see what you all think. What do you think Reddit needs to do next? Should they just go back on everything? Should they just target Apollo specifically? What are they going to do to get their value up, but also their PR up a little bit as well before they go public? I'm just going to be interested to see. All right, nobody's told you this today. You're appreciated, valuable, heckin' proud of you. See you in the next one. Deuces, bye.